Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube couldn't be easier, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. First, navigate to www.youtube.com/theobservernj. Once you get there, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, click the down arrow and then all. And that's it. You're subscribed, and now anytime The Observer is live, you will be notified. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the third day of March in the year 2026. Sure hope you're enjoying your Tuesdays, no matter where it is you are in the country. Here in the Northeast, 35 degrees, chilly, wacky day today. But it's supposed to get into the 60s and 70s later this week and part of next week. So really looking forward to that. I'm sure all of you are, all of us are. I've certainly had enough of this winter. But as you do each and every Tuesday, welcome me into your home so that I can bring you this week's news. And before I get to that, today is my mother's birthday. And, you know, there was a time last year and early this year where we weren't sure if she was going to be with us because she went through so many health issues over those months, and here she is. She's doing so much better, and I hope you don't mind me just taking an opportunity to be a little selfish here and wish her the best of all birthdays. I am so lucky to have such a great mother, and she's celebrating her birthday today at home up in Newton, and I wish I was there with her, but I couldn't be with her today, but I hope to see her this week, and I love you, Mother. Happy birthday, and may there be many, many more. Now, I want to tell you all, and I think most of you may already be aware of this, but this past weekend was very, very busy for the people of Kearney. In one room at the Grey Cliff in Moonachie was the United Irish Associations of West Hudson's annual St. Patrick's Day dinner, and across the hall from it was PBA number 21's annual dinner, where the Police Officer of the Year was awarded and a whole bunch of other awards were given out. And so, rather than me stay here and kind of just yak about what happened, I'm going to show you some videos from Saturday night. The first couple come from the United Irish dinner, and then we'll show you another video from Geordie Jean's speech, which I have to tell you is one of the greatest speeches I've ever heard delivered. I mean, this kid is a special human being as it is. He's not a kid anymore, but he is a special human being and a special police officer. Let's put it that way. But the speech that he gave was one of the most selfless speeches I've ever heard. He is just that extraordinary a human being. So what we'll do is, I'm going to take this in order. We'll start off with Joe McGonigal and the St. Columcille United Gaelic Pipe Band processing everybody in. Then we'll switch over to Kevin Quinn speaking as the Grand Marshal, and then we'll move on to Geordie after that. But without any further ado, here is the St. Columcille Band piping everybody into the show, and then we'll go right into Kevin Quinn's speech, which, by the way, is preceded by a few words from the one and only Mark Wiggins. So I don't even need to tell you that part will be entertaining. But here it is. Here is the band processing in. Well, Barbara Condon just told me, and so did Lisa, that there's no audio coming from the video. I am not quite sure why this is happening, so just bear with me for a second, and I'm going to switch over to Kevin Quinn and see if that's working. If not, we're going to have to end the broadcast, and we may have to pick this up either later or tomorrow because I'm not quite sure what's going on. Let's see what happens with Kevin Quinn. Hold on a minute.
Sounds like a band. Kevin and the deputies, these hats, please take them. I was trying to find a green tie to wear today at Target.
She wears a crown.
And
She wears a
I
crown.
found these hats instead. I did have this other tie elsewhere. Being the Grand Marshal last year was probably one of the most incredibly highest point of my life. I was so very flattered and honored, and I truly, truly appreciate it. And I'm friends with so many people in this organization and other organizations, and I'm humbled, and thank you. That's all I can say. I would just like to, Carol Jean Doyle was my third grade Sunday school teacher at St. Cecilia's. And so she was my first crush. And hold on. Here, Carol Jean.
He's going to pick her up. He's picking her up.
I would like to present Carol Jean to everybody here. She's been a spectacular woman, and she's a good mayor. Now my hip is shot. I'm done.
The reason you're here?
Those are my notes, not yours.
Okay. Kevin Quinn, you need to receive this.
Glad you're prepared.
He's sizing you up at the same time.
Yeah.
He sized this all up when he walked in.
Kevin, normally for me to put this on you, you'd have to lay down. It's an honor, and I'm very, very humbled. I'm humbled, and I didn't deserve it before you. Congratulations. You're a great man.
Everybody take a seat. Relax. This is supposed to be a fun night. I made a couple of notes here, and then George King said you got to keep it between 3 to 5 minutes. So thanks for this honor. It is our 50th parade, which makes it a special event. When I first got involved with the parade committee, one of the reasons I wanted to do it was, for me, St. Patrick's Day was kind of like the first day the weather was nice after winter, and it was homecoming. You would see people you might not have seen all year, and you would get together like no time has passed. And it was always just a wonderful sense of community between 3 different towns, which makes the challenge of doing a parade unique to every other parade in the state. That's why we have the longest parade in distance in the entire state of New Jersey. We were the first parade to have a woman be the parade coordinator, which is the hardest job on this whole thing. And that's why it's different levels. We also have, due to COVID, the longest serving Grand Marshal in the state. When I first joined the committee back in the early 80s, a lot of the guys called me kid, and that those days sadly have passed. But But the first meeting I went to was with my dear friend Bobby Conahan, and we represented the Irish American Association as delegates to the parade committee. And we met in the back of the East Newark Firehouse, when it was really just the back of the East Newark Firehouse. Through the years, I've made many wonderful friends. We've lost some friends, but it's something I would never trade in, because this experience has been amazing. You know, most volunteer organizations, they have people that stay around for 3 years, is like the average. I think I read a study somewhere. We have people that stay for a long time. I'd say the average is over 10 years, I think, for our organization. And that's if you take Joe and I out of it. We've had wonderful people. We've had honorees that were not involved before they were honored and have come back and stayed to help because they see what's involved with us doing this. You know, people we've honored that have stayed with us, Joe Reese is one of them. Joe has stayed with us and been the MC and the host and the announcer for the parade, and has just always an amazing source of support. He's just that guy that if you have a question, Joe has an answer, or at least good advice to give you. Art Pettigrew, who after he was honored, ran our ad journal for a number of years and helped us raise funds to keep the parade growing. Gina Wiltrout, who now runs the dance. We have the chief of police from Harrison, Stan Titterington, who still helps us anytime you drop a number. Christine Nash, who has spent the last year revising our bylaws so that our organization can continue to thrive and be successful. And Gloria Spence, who's with us almost every meeting and always has something positive to offer and help. When I first joined this, it was just something I wanted to do. And like I say, I'm honored to have Ellen and Mike to be my deputies. I'm just gonna give one story because there's been about 40 parades. But there was one year when we were having breakfast at Riley's, well, only 40 that I remember. And which the Lockharts, who were sitting over there, were kind enough to always have a full Irish breakfast for the committee, the honorees, and all the officials. And we had walked outside to get on the phone because it gets loud in there. And looking down the street, we saw smoke billowing from Harrison. And, well, you'll say East Newark, but it was on the border. But we were wondering what it was, and some people, it might be Newark, it might be. Then we start getting phone calls. It was the old Cappuccino's Hardware. And it was a big fire, right in the middle of our parade route. And there was no panic. Mike and Ellen were working together as parade coordinator and assistant parade coordinator at the time. And I went into the mass with the honorees. And I came out and they had discussed with the police chiefs from 3 towns, all of the people that were marching in the parade, and were able to reroute the parade and have it all put together logistically in less than an hour, organizationally. And we were able to have that parade go off without a hitch. So that's the quality of people I've had the pleasure of working with for years. So I have more notes, but George has given me that you're at the 4.5-minute mark. So I would be remiss if I did not thank my wife and my son, who have suffered through late nights and a lot of hard work and things, and they've always been supportive. So thank you all. This is a wonderful night, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful parade march. Thank you.
So there he was. That was Kevin Quinn giving what I think is probably as overdue an honor as one could ever ask for. For 30 years, he's been the president of the United Irish Associations of West Hudson, and there couldn't be a more deserving honoree to be the Grand Marshal of the parade this year, as are Ellen and Michael, who are his deputy grand marshals this year. Now, for those of you who are fans of pipe music, I want to try it one more time to play you the St. Columkille Band piping in. If it doesn't work, I'll fix it for next week. But let me give it one more shot. Here it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know, maybe they're afraid I'm going to get a copyright strike or something, because that has happened in the past, but the audio won't come through. So I apologize, but next week, I promise you, I will get you the audio again. Now, this next video that you're going to see was the same night, just across the hall, where Jordanson Gene, who was the 2025 Police Officer of the Year, gave his, I guess you would say, acceptance speech. Jordy gave one of the finest speeches I've ever heard. So rather than just talk it up, why don't you make the decision for yourself? Here he is, the 2025 Police Officer of the Year, Jordy Gene.
About 15 years ago, a close friend of mine, actually one of my best friends in El Paso, Texas at the time, told me to take a leap of faith. He said this profession would fit who I was even before I knew who I was becoming. I thought I was just taking a job. I was wrong. I was stepping into a calling myself. I thank God for that step, because this did not just give me a paycheck, it shaped my character. It shaped my judgment, and it humbled me. It taught me how to stand firm in chaos, how to show compassion, even when it's hard to give. To retired Chief John Dowie, former Mayor Santos, and the council at that time, thank you for giving a young man like myself an opportunity to become part of something bigger than myself. To retired Chief George King and Chief Scott McPhee, thank you for trusting me not only to grow, but to lead, to train, to help shape the men and women who will carry this department forward long after we're gone. And that trust I know for a fact is sacred. To Mayor Dolan and current council members, thank you for standing behind the men and women of this department. All of what we do and are able to do absolutely starts with you. Back in 2013, when I filled out a 20 to 30-page application, I don't know if it's still the same now, one question stood out, and is probably still in these applications today. It said, why do you want to become a police officer? I can't remember most of what I wrote, but one thing that did stand out, that never left me to this day, was I want to help those who cannot help themselves. Aww. I didn't understand what that truly meant then, but I do remember my late mother used to say in the Creole language, what you're looking for, you're going to find. And she was right. Because when you go looking to help those who can't help themselves, you will find trauma. You will find grief. You will find fear in people's eyes. And you will find moments where humanity feels fragile. And when those moments are over, there is silence. There is countless hours of paperwork. There is the weight of knowing what you saw and carrying it away with you. For the last 6 years in the Detective Bureau, I've had the privilege of carrying that weight alongside some of the finest professionals I know. And honestly, I believe one of the greatest departments in the state of New Jersey. Woo! Woo! The grind, the late nights, the quiet victories no one sees. I thank my colleagues for that, as well as all my current and previous supervisors. That includes Sergeant John Fabula, Sergeant Ryan Stickno, Nelson, Faranola Gonzalez, Wisely, Deputy Chief, and the entire administrative staff, for keeping that weight as light as you possibly could. A few years ago, during the celebration of one of my own colleagues at a prior Valor Awards dinner just like this, I asked one of those former supervisors, how do I become Officer of the Year? I thought I was working hard, and just like many of my colleagues, I thought I earned it or deserved it. He said in his own words, Gene, just keep doing what you're doing, you'll get there. I was like, all right. I didn't leave. But because when you're in the pits, some of the stuff that we deal with, you don't feel honored. You feel tired. You feel tested. You feel overlooked. But here's what I've learned. Recognition does not come from chasing praise. It comes from consistency, from integrity, and from doing the things that are right, especially when no one is watching.
Yep.
To my brothers and sisters, you are appreciated. Maybe not always loudly, Maybe not always publicly. And maybe not even when you need to hear it most. But you are appreciated. Because you run towards what others run from.
Yep.
You make decisions others pray they never have to make it.
Yep.
You carry burdens that don't fit neatly into tabletop conversations.
Yep.
And at the core of it all, we are still doing exactly what I wrote 13 years ago to this day. We're helping those that can't help themselves.
Amen.
To my wife, your strength steadies me.
Woo! Woo!
To my sisters, brothers, family, and friends, thank you for being my anchor. You're reminding me who I am outside of the chaos that we all experience.
Yep.
Tonight may have been my name attached to it, but this recognition belongs to every partner who stood beside me, my supervisors who pushed me, every family member who sacrificed with me, and every citizen who trusted us in their darkest moment. We don't do this job for applause, but tonight, standing here, I am humbly and truly grateful. Grateful for the opportunity, grateful for the responsibility, grateful for the honor of serving. God bless the Kearney Police Department. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.
There's not much that I could say that Jordy didn't say. I want to help people who can't help themselves. When you think about it, that is the root of every police officer, because everybody they come in contact with is at more than likely one of the lowest moments of their lives, moments they'd rather not be in. And when you talk about what Jordy does, whether it's his detective work or his work as a member of the Hudson County Regional SWAT team, whatever it is, he knows that he's dealing with people who are not in the best frame and who need that help. And that's all he ever does, is help people. And that's why he is so well deserving of this incredible award, and make this entire broadcast so easy for me, because I really didn't have to say all that much. They said everything that needed to be said, that Kevin Quinn and Jordy Jean, the 2025 Police Officer of the Year. Now, before I wrap things up, I want to tell you about something that happened at my alma mater, but I'm going to let Channel 10 News, WJAR in Providence, Rhode Island, tell the story. It is a reminder of how dangerous carbon monoxide is and how easy it is for anybody to be poisoned and killed by carbon monoxide without even knowing it. This young man who you're about to learn about was a student at my alma mater, Salve Regina University in Newport, Rhode Island. He was in his 20s and he's now gone. But the way it happened is so frightening, but it could easily have been any of us last week. Take a look at this.
There was one person obviously rescued in the storm, but there is tragedy amidst the blizzard. Salve Regina University is mourning the loss tonight of one of its own students who police say died in a car last night from carbon monoxide poisoning.
This is so sad. Police believe that he was in his car charging his phone. And tonight we're hearing from one of his teammates. The night team's John Perrick continues our team coverage.
You can believe it. It's hard to deal with.
A sophomore on Salve's football team.
He was progressing towards being better.
Found unconscious in a car by police officers during Monday's blizzard. Officials say the car was here, parked outside the Young Building on Salve's campus along Bellevue Ave. Newport Police says carbon monoxide killed him.
It's odorless. You can't really smell it. You can't tell it's there. And you're not necessarily thinking about it because you're just chilling in your car. You don't necessarily think to clear out the gas pipe.
Police tell us they believe 21-year-old Joseph Boutros was in his car to charge his phone. Officers say they first found him around 7:30 p.m. Students told us the school didn't have power then.
He was a bundle of joy, you know. Always brought his personality to the room.
Christian Reese was on the offensive line with Boutros.
It was nice to see him working. I literally just saw him last Saturday. He was saying, yeah, man, I went from 290 to 270. I feel really good. I'm feeling light over the break.
Tonight, in a statement, the university's president sharing her condolences with all those who loved him.
Carbon monoxide is nothing to play around with.
At Tuesday's news conference, Rhode Island's fire marshal discussed the danger this odorless killer can have on us all.
If you feel you have an issue, call 911.
Back at Salve, the emotions are raw. Christian found out this morning.
It's hard. I plan to go to his funeral. I plan to drive all the way, if it's in Long Island, it's in freaking Seattle.
In Newport, I'm John Perrick, NBC 10 News, Night Team.
Just horrible. But so easily did it happen, just going out to charge his phone. And the tailpipe was likely blocked up. It came back into the car, and now he's gone. But it's a stark reminder of how important it is to be aware of carbon monoxide and the dangers that it poses. You don't smell a thing. You don't know a thing is happening. And then all of a sudden, gone just like that. So thank you for letting me show that to you all today. We have 2 pages of classifieds at the back of the book. There are sports stories from Jason Bernstein, as always. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Observer Live. I didn't get a chance to acknowledge anybody. I see a lot of people in the chat room today. Audrey Ellen is here. My dear friend Carol Manley is here as well. And I know I saw Gloria Spence earlier. Barbara Condon is also here. And Pat Long, enjoying her day off, is also with us. And anybody who may be in the background watching, thank you for being here today. We will be back 1 week from today, or if any breaking news happens, we will join you live when it happens. From the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa, and I am signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesdays, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.